Okay, so we have looked at composite functions. In fact, we just did on the review. Fog. What does fog mean? Which function is going into which function? Yes, g is going into x. Okay, that's a composite function where you're putting one function into the other. Now, there are also the sum of functions, the difference of functions, product, quotient. Basically, you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions. Okay, this is the notation. You need to be familiar with this, know it. The f plus g of x and the f minus g of x are kind of self-explanatory. It means f of x plus g of x or f of x minus g of x. The one that, and the division one, the quotient, f over g of x, is f of x divided by g of x. That's all kind of, you can figure that out. This is the one that will confuse people. FGX. They confuse it with the fog. They confuse it with this. Okay? It is not the same thing. Do we see the difference between this and this? This has the F and the G side by side in the brackets being multiplied, right?
Yeah.
This one has F bracket G of X.
So that's just where you would find what F and G and multiply them.
Yeah, this one, FG of X, means you're multiplying them together.
Would that mean you, like, this one is, if F's function is x minus 1 and G's function is x minus 2, would you times x minus 1 and x minus 2?
You FOIL them together, yeah. We're going to practice it, okay? That's the notation. You need to be familiar with it, okay? We're not going to do the graphing stuff because I just don't understand the real point of that. We're going to do the algebra. So we're going to flip the page to right here. Just do a quick one. We're going to do both the f plus g of x and the f minus g of x. So they define f of x as 2x plus 1 and g of x is x minus 3. They want us to do f plus g of x. So we go over to the side here. That means f of x plus g of x. So you write f of x, and then you add it to g of x. And collect your like terms. That's it. That's all you're doing. So 2x plus x is 3x. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. And that is f of x plus g of x. That's it. Okay? If you're doing subtraction, there's one subtle trick in the subtraction one. Okay? So this means f of x minus g of x. The only thing you have to remember when you're doing this is that you're going to go 2x plus 1 minus the whole function. So you need to bracket the whole function, because what's going to happen with that negative? It's going to flip all the signs in there, right? This negative is going to flip these signs. So it actually means 2x plus 1 minus x plus 3 to give you x plus 4. Is that okay? That's a subtle trick with the subtraction one. So whenever you're subtracting, just remember to bracket the whole function that you are subtracting. Okay? You don't have to do it for addition, but you can if you want. You can just go like that and you get in the habit, but it's not going to change anything. Okay? All right. What if I asked you to solve f plus g of 10? So there's a number out here instead of x. There's two ways to do this. The first way is, if you look here, this x goes to both of these, right? That's why we get f of x plus g of x. So that means the 10 is going to go to both. So this is going to be f of 10 plus g of 10. So it's like the one that we had just in the little review here. I can then just go, what's f of 10? Where's f? Sorry. F is 2x plus 1. So if I go f of 10, that's going to be 2 times 10 plus 1, which is 22. G of 10 is going to be 20 minus 3, or 10 minus 3, which is 7.
I don't think 20 plus 1 is 22.
21. I'm really good at addition and subtraction today, people. So 21. So f plus g of 10 is going to be 21 plus 7 is 28. Okay? You can do it that way. Does anybody see a faster way to do it? Or another way? Yes.
Would you do it earlier with the f plus g and then just add 10 at the end?
Yes. So up here, I determined what f of x plus g of x was. So I can just plug 10 directly into there. If you've already done that work, you might as well just plug 10 directly into it. So I could just go 3 times 10 minus 2 is 30, minus 2 is 28. And you get the same thing, which is good. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble if we didn't. Okay? So if you've already figured out what f of x plus g of x is somewhere else in the equation, you can just plug 10 into your answer and you'll get it. Or if you want to, you can just figure out f of 10, g of 10, add them together. Same thing for the subtraction. You could just put 10 right into there and it'll spit out the answer. Or do f of 10 minus g, or a negative 10, I guess, in this case. But it's either one. Is that okay? All right. I want you to do what do I want you to do? 3a, b, no, hang on. Check that. 3a, 1, and 2. And if you look at here, let's just show you. Where's 3? Here we go. Here's what I want you to do. Those two and those two. Okay, question 3, those ones. Okay, now we're going to do fg of x. What does that mean? We're multiplying, so this means f of x times g of x. Okay? So f of x is 2x plus 1. G of x is x minus 3. What do I do? What do I do, people? You FOIL it out. Yeah, you multiply them. So 2x squared minus 6x plus x minus 3. Negative 6x plus x is negative 5x minus 3. That is your answer. You're done. You've just multiplied the functions out. Now, if I asked you to do fg of 8, what would be the shortest way to do fg of 8? Yeah, so we know f times g is this, so I can just plug 8 directly into there. So fg of 8 is equal to which gives you 85, if my math is correct. What's the other way to do it? You could go f of 8 times g of 8. So f of 8, what's f? 2x plus 1, so 2 times 8 plus 1 times g, which is 8 minus 3, That's 16 plus 1 is 17 times 8 minus 3 is 5. 50, 30, yeah. Same thing, 85. Okay? So it's similar to the addition subtraction in that once you figured out the new function, you can just plug the number directly into it, or you can figure out each individual one and then multiply them together. Either way gives you the same answer. It's up to you. All right. We okay? All right. Here is, all right, the division one. So, bottom of the next page, 48. So, we have f over g of x, okay? This, which means f of x over g of x. F of x is this, x squared plus x minus 6. G of x is x minus 2. Okay. What did I say? When do you have domain restrictions? When you have x in the denominator. Now we have x's in the denominator. Okay? When you do division, you're going to have domain restrictions. So, what number are you not allowed to divide by? What number are you not allowed to divide by? 0. What makes the denominator 0? 2. So in grade 11, we called them NPVs. Remember that? Non-permissible values. That's so grade 11. We don't do that anymore. We just call them domain restrictions. So we just say, nope, you just go x with a little equal sign and a slash through it. So x cannot equal 2. Because it's what makes the denominator 0. Okay? I don't know. You could have. I think we did. Okay, so you wrote MPV equals 2. All right, now we have to simplify this. What type of equation is that? It's a quadratic, which means you factor it. What multiplies a negative 6 and adds to 1? Negative 2 and 3. This is why you need to know how to factor, people, because you're going to have a question like this on your test. Okay. What do I do now? What do I cancel? X minus 2's go bye-bye. What am I left with? There you go. X plus 3, you get a mark for that. You'll get a mark for factoring. You'll get a mark for the domain restriction. Okay? So, now, what if I said, what is f over g of negative 6? What is the shortcut, easy way to do this? Put negative 6 into the x plus 3. Is negative 3. Is that okay? Going once, going twice. Here we go. All right. Okay, f over g of x of all these different ones. So remember, that is just f of x over g of x. So this one becomes 2x plus 5 over x plus 5. Domain restriction is? Negative 5. So we just say x cannot equal negative 5. You got to mark. Can I simplify this? Can I simplify this? No, you cannot. It's done. This is the answer. You cannot, do not write this down. Put all your pens down right now. You're not allowed to write this, okay? You cannot do this. Oh, look at this. Boom, 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 equals 2. Don't do that, all right? Because of this little addition sign, these are separate terms. You cannot cancel terms. You can only cancel factors. What? No, because it's 2x plus y, not 2 times x plus y. No, you can't take out anything. You're done. All right? That addition or subtraction sign means you cannot touch it. All right? If it was... if it looked like this... if it looked like that, you could do it. Okay? But because there's an addition sign, it's 2 different terms. You cannot factor, or you can't do anything to it. So this is your answer. Simplified, done, you walk away. Okay? B. F of x over g of x. X squared minus 2x minus 35 over x minus 7. You've got a quadratic. I do not want a quadratic. What do I want to do to it? So it's still a quadratic, I guess, but it's a factored quadratic. If you don't know what to do, factor. What multiplies to negative 35 and adds to negative 2?
Negative 7 and 5.
What are my domain restrictions, people? Positive. X cannot equal 7. What do I cancel, people? And you can cancel them because they're being multiplied. Okay? That's why the x minus 7s go. Are we good? Okay. All right. F of x over g of x. What do I do with the quadratic? Factor, factor. You always factor. So what multiplies to 6 and adds to negative 5?
Negative 6.
Negative 2, negative 3. Okay. What are my domain restrictions? What is x not allowed to be? 2 or 3, or 2 and 3. Okay? You can have multiple domain restrictions. Okay? 0 works. Right? Because if you put 0 in, you get 6 on the denominator. But x cannot equal 2 or 3. There's your domain restrictions. Now, what cancels? The x minus 2's. Okay, so what's my answer? Yes. It is not x minus 3. If you cancel everything in the numerator, what number's left in the numerator? 1. So it's 1 over x minus 3 is your answer. Okay? All right, last question. We're doing f over g. Because it's like a 1 there, like that. All right. We have a quadratic. We're doing f over g. So what do I need to do to the quadratic? Factor it. How do you factor when you have a leading coefficient of that's not 1? Okay, factor. Go. Do it yourselves, people. You're gonna have. I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be a question like this on the test. Do we have it? Want to mark those? Want to mark them? What? They had the key. Are we ready? Where'd the key go? I thought it was in here. Right. Going once, going twice. Boom, there's your answer. That's just a factored form. Did we get it? Yes. We're going to do that in a sec. Okay, so it's factored to 2x plus 1, x minus 7. What cancels? Okay, so the 2x plus 1s cancel. You're left with x minus 7. Now, even though the denominator cancels, you still have to include it for a domain restriction. So, what makes the denominator equal to 0? There you go. If you don't see that, you just go 2x plus 1 has to equal 0. 2x is equal to negative 1, so x is equal to negative a half. Okay? So your domain restriction is x cannot equal negative 1/2. Are we okay? Been better. Can't add or subtract today, apparently. But, you know. We're good? That's it. The unit's over. If you have a division 1, I know you will have a division 1, and it's a quadratic, it will be a quadratic. Factor, write them over top of one another, write the domain restriction, what makes the denominator equal to 0. Just go x cannot equal whatever that number is. Cancel your factors. There's your answer. You need to know how to factor, people. I'm going to tell you right now. All right. Finish 3. And then do 5, D, and E, please.